Welcome to my unboxing and first look at the Func MS-3. So their slogan is functionality perfected. So you're probably not going to find 8200 DPI sensors and, 57 buttons and whatever else. But the idea behind this mouse was to create something that was usable. So check this out. Packaging is very clean. So here, let's do the back first. So you've got optimal in-range button placements for more accurate gameplay. So the idea is that there's not a ton of buttons, but you could reach them all. Built to last with only the best components available. Keep your comfy grip, allows you to keep focused on the screen, so it's a palm type mouse. Customizable LED lighting system with profile indication. Okay, so there's RGB lighting, which is basically just there and there. Switch instantly to another DPI by holding down the instant aim button. So it's got an aim button or a sniper button or whatever sort of a lot of different guys have called that. All right, it all started back in 1999 in sunny California. A bunch of passionate gamers and friends got fed up with computer gear not cutting it. Like anyone serious about his business, these guys decided it was time to take action. They were visionaries, free thinkers, and entrepreneurs. And thank God Steve Jobs came along and invented the modern gaming mouse in sunny California in 1999. Actually, that's not really what happened there, but the point is that there were some guys, they founded Func, and they wanted to create stuff that was good enough for them to use it. So Func was kind of MIA for a little bit there, but it has been resurrected, and this is pretty much the first product that's come out of the rejuvenated company. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. You can open it up from either side. I chose the right because that's how I roll. I make decisions and I just go for it. Spec-wise, what have they got to say for themselves? Omron switches, so that's in line with Func saying that they're using only the highest quality materials. Omron switches are very, very well regarded. This is funny. Check this out. They actually call out the exact processor they're using. Avago UGS 9500. Okay, sensor. And then the processor is a WT6573. Onboard memory, 512 kilobytes. Resolution is 90 to 5670 DPI. That is a huge range, and that goes all the way down very, very low. 1200 frames per second. Tracking speed, 5.1 meters per second. I think there's pretty much everything in here. The only thing that I've seen that is not here, so you can have up to 1000 hertz polling rate, is that that thing that Logitech's doing now, where they actually rate the feet on the bottom of the mice for a particular distance that they can travel. 250 kilometers on their latest GS series mice. So let's go ahead and check out the actual mouse itself. So it's much wider than what you might be used to if you've seen a few sort of modern gaming mice, because a lot of the mice out there, it seems like manufacturers are hedging their bets a little bit and saying, okay, well, if we build something smaller, then people with small hands will be able to palm it, and people with big hands will be able to claw it. Whereas Func has gone, okay, no, we're going to build something bigger so that people with bigger hands can palm it, and people with smaller hands can palm it slightly less. So what you'll notice is that I have small hands, and while my hand does fit comfortably on the MS-3, you can see that I'm not nearly to the end of the buttons here, or to the rests for the ring finger and the pinky finger. And you can see here on the other side, I'm also not able to reach the sniper button necessarily. So the MS-3 is optimized for people with bigger hands, such as Slick, who's on his way over here right now to show us what his larger hands will look like on the MS-3. Thank you, Slick, for stepping in and doing what I can't do. So, you know what? The mic's on, so feel free to talk.
I still kind of claw it, actually, but I can palm it a lot easier than most mice.
Okay, so here, let's do a quick size comparison, sort of Slick's hand versus mine. So baseball glove, lady hand. So somewhere in between is probably where you're going to find the perfect balance with the MS-3. Now let's go ahead and cover all of the buttons that are on here. So we've got 4 buttons that are accessible with the thumb. For me personally, I'd be able to do 1, 2, 3 of them. This one's a bit stiffer than these 2. You can actually hear there's a distinctly different click sound to them. And then this one is more of a spring-loaded sort of type of feel of button, just like this one right here. 2 buttons on the top. All of these can be reprogrammed from within the Func software, as well as a non-tilting but pressable scroll wheel, and an additional button over here on the right of your ring finger. Now, I personally prefer this positioning for a button that's going to be intended to be pressed by moving off either my left or right click, because I've seen ones positioned here a lot of the time, and I personally left click a lot more than I right click, so I would rather move this off to the side than move this off to the side. With that said, my hands are slightly too small to reach that button on the end. So guys, if your hands are a little bit on the bigger side, you have probably found your new mouse. The bottom is covered in a glossy finish that also has slippy pads right here, 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 and here. And you can see the laser sensor right here through the bottom of the mouse itself. The braided cable is 2 meters long and has a nice little sort of black and orange finish to it, so hopefully you guys can get a good look at that. And then it does have a gold-plated USB connector, although it should be noted that that doesn't actually do anything for the performance. It's mostly just for show. I mean, with that said, it's not like it costs a ton and Func's charging you an extra $25 because they put a gold-plated connector on it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it from that perspective, but yeah, it doesn't actually affect the performance too much. The important thing, well, not at all, is to have gold-plated inside here. Not the outside of the connector where nothing actually happens except I believe it's a ground. But that's about it. So thank you for checking out my unboxing and first look at the Func MS-3. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos. And oh yeah, the last thing I should probably mention about it is it has a really nice soft touch feel over the entire mouse with the exception of the bottom and the buttons on the top. That feels really good. Here. That should give you guys some idea of what the texture's like and actually looks really good as well. Thanks, guys. So yeah, a couple things I missed. The 512K memory holds up to 3 different profiles, and it's a driverless mouse, so you can just plug it in and it works the way you intend it to. Honestly, the minute I switched to my Ikari laser, prior to that I'd had a non-driverless mouse. I gave up on mice that aren't driverless. Every mouse should have onboard memory these days. And the last thing is it can record up to 20 actions with a macro. So there you go, using the editor. Shut up, Crow. So we just finished filming this, and Diesel the intern apparently wants this mouse now to swap out on his workstation. So there you go.